Hi again, everyone. Scott Pyre, pop cult fan here, and I'm back home from vacation. I got back home really late last night with my family. It was like past midnight, but I'm back home now, and what I want to do for this video is that during my vacation, I did see Jurassic World Dominion, and I want to do a review for it. By the way, I did have a lot of fun back in Scotland. We did quite a bit. We went on quite a few bus tours and things like that. I got to see a lot of locations that inspired J.K. Rowling for a lot of locations known in the Harry Potter stories and the books and the movies, and that was a lot of fun. And it was just quite the vacation, and we got to see a lot of areas with beautiful views, like the countryside in Scotland. A lot of amazing, beautiful views in that country, and I just had a lot of fun. We went out to eat quite a bit, and I had a really good time in Scotland. So, but yeah, for this video, I want to review Jurassic World Dominion, now that I've seen the movie. And this movie, I do think it's a decent film, but it does have a few issues. Going into the positives first, I think what the movie did pretty well with was having the original cast and the new cast in the Jurassic World trilogy, and seeing those characters come together at the end, I thought was very satisfying. This movie was entertaining from beginning to end. If anything else, I think this movie is a pretty good summer blockbuster action flick. I think it's not my favorite in the Jurassic World trilogy. It's, I guess, on par with Fallen Kingdom. I kind of like that movie a little bit more than this one, and then the first Jurassic World film I like better than these other two films. But within the whole franchise, this is one of the weaker films in my opinion, but it is still enjoyable nonetheless. Like it's an entertaining film. And Chris Pratt, a lot of the energy he brings to the character of Owen and his relationship with Claire, Bryce Dallas Howard, that's great. And then seeing the original cast back with Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum, and Laura Dern as their characters from the original Jurassic Park film, you get a lot of that nostalgia, and all of that is really great. And a lot of dinosaur sequences in this movie are also really entertaining to watch. You definitely go, if you're like a younger person and you love dinosaurs, you'll definitely get a lot of amazing dinosaur sequences in this film. And there's a hint of the Jurassic World or the Jurassic Park theme music from John Williams in this as well, and that's great. I just think that overall it is a decent film. It's an enjoyable film, but like I've said, this movie does have a few issues. I think the plot is a little bit convoluted, mainly because you're following a few different sets of characters doing different things, and it does have a decent conclusion with all the characters teaming up, but throughout the film, you just got a lot of disjointed plot threads with these different sets of characters that you're following. And that's kind of hard to do with a movie that's like 2.5 hours long, when you're following like 6 or 7 different characters, and then all of it is just disjointed, and that's my main flaw with the film. But another flaw is that the main threat of the film are these things, and without spoiling it, these things, it's just not something that you think of being a main threat of a Jurassic film, but it's okay. I mean, it was okay. I understood it. I understood why they did it, but the premise that was teased in the previous film, Fallen Kingdom, it was front-loaded to the opening sequences of this movie and the ending sequences of this movie, but it wasn't the main focus of the story. That's my main flaw with this movie. It's that it's not the film that we were promised with the previous one, and where the previous film, Fallen Kingdom, ended. This movie it was front loaded, like I said, to the front and the beginning of this film, not the full focus of the story. That's my main problem with this. But also, the human villain, his character was very one note. There's a human villain in this film. His character is kind of a corporate billionaire scientist, kind of a villain, and there's just not much to him. He's not very well fleshed out, and that's just my other main problem with this film is the human villain. There's not much to his character. He's just not. I mean, you understand his point of view, but he's just not fleshed out, and those are my main flaws with the film. Is this convoluted, messy plot and the weak human villain are just my main issues. And I just think that, this movie, out of the three Jurassic World films, I think the first Jurassic World film has the better, most focused story out of the three. That's my favorite film in this trilogy, and this movie does do a decent enough job concluding the trilogy and the sixth film arc between Jurassic Park and its sequels and the Jurassic World films. It does do a decent enough job concluding the story, and I still do think that there is potential for another Jurassic film to fully recapture the idea of just dinosaurs just existing with other animals and with people. There is potential in that, and this movie just didn't focus on that fully. And maybe if they make another Jurassic film, they could more fully realize that in a 2.5-hour runtime in another film, hopefully. That is, if there is another film. I'm not sure. We'll see. But yeah, if I had to give a grade for this movie, I'd probably give it a B-. So it's not a great film, but it's also not a bad film. I think some of the other weaker films in this franchise for me are the third Jurassic Park film, Fallen Kingdom, and this one. I remember liking the second film quite a bit than the original film. Obviously a classic. I love that film, the original. So that's really where my ranking is with all these movies. The original, the best, Jurassic Park 2, Jurassic World, and then the rest of them kind of more near the bottom. So yeah, that should do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Glad to be back home. Hopefully I can start doing more videos again. I have been watching Obi-Wan and Ms. Marvel. Really enjoying Ms. Marvel. I might do another video for that, talking about that more in depth. So yeah, that should do it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.